What's up? Welcome into the West Bros Experience. I'm Bob West.
And I'm Colby West.
And today we're talking about organically growing your following on social media without coming off like some spammy loser.
Yeah, in today's world, social media is non-optional. It's absolutely mandatory. You've got a business, or you're just trying to know more people. You got to get out there. It's like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The reach is absolutely incredible. And how else are people, like that many people, going to know about your business in Watertown, South Dakota, where we're both from? So
a lot of ways. It's the cheapest way to get your name out there. It's the most relevant, the most modern way also. So getting your name out there, getting out there and being active on social media is absolutely essential. But the challenges are getting out there and organically and right. Genuinely connecting with people.
Yeah.
I think that's the challenge that people have, especially if you're a business owner. Me personally in real estate, I'm always working to connect with people on social media, but sending them a long pitch about all the real estate services I can offer them is not going to be that effective. I've got to find a way to genuinely reach through and connect.
Right, and there's so many different ways to do that. There's all these different searches that we can touch on a little bit today and in some future episodes, as far as how to search on LinkedIn, how to do Facebook, how to connect genuinely, like you said, on Instagram.
Right, and those are the three platforms we'll get into today: Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Those are the most, the most relevant and most popular, yep. Especially as far as in terms of direct messaging and being able to connect with people in that medium. So let me just ask you this, Colby. If I'm trying to genuinely connect with someone, so I'm a real estate agent, I'm newer in Las Vegas, I've only lived here a few years, don't know that many people, but I get on Instagram, what's the first step?
Yeah, the first step is finding some common ground, being able to talk about, say, we both absolutely love golf, and we're gonna say, hey, I see that you like golf. What are your favorite courses, or what do you like to do on the range, or
right.
Different things to talk about there.
I like that, and you're talking about something that you're interested in, so you're being truthful and you're honest there, but you're also talking about something they're interested in.
Right.
And when it comes to sales, when it comes to long-term sales especially, you've got to be making genuine connections with people.
Right.
Because whether or not you do a lot of business with that person, they might refer you to more business in the future. And just making as many of those genuine connections in the community, that's huge. So Colby talked about, maybe searching out some hashtags, searching out some locations that you're interested in. On social media. One of the ways that Gary Vee talks about getting on there is with his $1.80 strategy. Do you want to tell people?
Yeah, $1.80. Again, Gary Vee, one of our huge mentors. You don't know him, you should. You're going to keep hearing us talk about him. You're going to probably start seeing his name pop up after these videos too. So Gary Vee, it preaches that $1.80 strategy, and it breaks it down into, he says he gives his 2 cents 90 times a day in forms of comments and Instagram. You jump in someone's in comments saying, hey man, really like what you're doing here, giving back to the community, and that's super awesome. Like, I appreciate stuff like that. And people respect genuine interaction like that. And then maybe if it's not someone who's posting it, other people will see like that genuine kind of comment, and they'll kind of attract to that.
Right, and you said it there too, that's a place where you can have a lot of those organic conversations right in the comments sections, not always necessarily of your posts. I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs and business people get bogged down, is they want all that interaction on their posts, on their, but it's, if you can start commenting on other people's posts and then leaving meaningful comments in response to other comments that have been left on that post, that can be a really effective way to connect with people. So let's just take it a step further. Now, say I've kind of made a connection with somebody, they've liked my comment, maybe we've even gone back and forth a couple times, is it now maybe a good time to send them a direct message?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. If you actually feel there's a genuine connection, they're past the point of thinking you're gonna sell them something, right? So it's like you have a commonality and say, hey, like if they're in your city, fortunately enough, like let's go grab some coffee and let's continue this conversation. Let's take it offline. Let's actually make this real.
Right. So even before you're trying to sell them something necessarily, you're trying to meet them in person.
Yep.
You're trying to form a genuine connection that way.
Yep. And if they're not in your city, maybe it's, I don't know. I've used Zoom meetings in the past just to get kind of some face-to-face interaction.
Right.
And brings me to my next point. It's like video interaction is absolutely crucial too, and that's on every platform. That's one of the main reasons we're doing this. It's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's LinkedIn. And people want to hear you talk about anything, and they want to get to know you and your emotions and how you go about everything.
Right. Yeah, I think that's huge. The more you're willing to kind of just put your true, genuine, real self out there, talk about the things that interest you, but also talk about your profession, talk about your hustles. I think just the more you get out there, the more you can connect with people on different levels, the more likely it is to form some genuine connections. Yep. So we actually want to get into like a little bit more of like tactical strategy here. So we talked $1.80. That's something that you can actually apply to your business. And Gary Vee talks about, doing that for like 3 hours a day. If you're an entrepreneur, even more. He said he did it on Twitter, on Instagram. You can do it on Facebook, in Facebook groups. Start joining as many groups and interacting with people in Facebook groups. That's really huge. And then LinkedIn, it's really so brand new. It's you can really start to interact really all over the place, anywhere, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's interaction. It's actually providing true value to the people. You probably see all the time, like people are maybe trying to do $1.80 or trying to get more interaction with themselves, but they'll put like the 100 sign and then flames and on a flex. It's like, what value are you bringing to the comments or anyone else for that matter?
Right.
And it's just kind of losing its touch there. So it's being able to be genuine and saying, hey, like actually truly say something meaningful in that comment.
Yeah, that's huge, especially when you talk about, so if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner and you're trying to kind of grow your following, a lot of times these comments that you're making are going to be they're going to be in the posts of some of your mentors and some of the people you're really looking up to. So like, for example, if we can Gary Vee, obviously that's a really tough one to break through because you get thousands of comments for every single post. But if you get on there and say something meaningful, you're a lot more likely to start getting interactions with other people in that comment section. And then other entrepreneurs and people that you follow as well. The more meaningful conversation that you can start, the more value you can provide, the more likely it is to like actually start a real conversation.
Yeah, and a real conversation. If you're not sure how to do that, we've kind of got a little form that we use.
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's form. And so before we jump into that and tell you exactly what form is and what that acronym stands for, I want to just kind of talk about LinkedIn a little bit, because direct messaging on LinkedIn has become almost to me like direct mail.
Yep.
I mean, it's like so many of these messages I get they're 4 paragraphs long from somebody telling me about what they do and and I mean, all the respect in the world to you for getting out there and doing your thing and hustling, but there's no way I've got the time to read 4 paragraphs from somebody I've never met.
Right. Yep. It's like you said, a spammy loser message says, "Hey, I'm Colby West. I'm in solar. Would you like to buy a solar system?" Like, come on, who's gonna do that? No one's gonna hear your pitch before they know about you. That's not how business works anyway. So.
Yeah, and then you constantly get the people that make you the offer. Hey man, I got this great offer for you, incredible deal. Do you have time to get on a call and I'll tell you about it? And I just want to respond like, hey man, you had time to send me this message. Why don't you just tell me what that incredible offer is right here? Then I can discern for myself if it's actually going to provide me value. So if you've got a great value offer to send people, send it out there. Just send it to them and let them be the judge of whether or not it's a great offer.
Yep.
But now let's get into form. So if you actually want to start reaching out in direct messaging and making some genuine connections, this acronym form is a great way to do it. And basically, you're going to use this as a way to start asking questions about other people and not about their business.
Yep. And it brings it back to like communication 101. It's like you said, acronym form: family, occupation, recreation, motivation. You can start talking about their family. Everyone loves to talk about their family, their upbringing, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And then that'll kind of slowly transition to, hey man, what do you do? Or what do you enjoy to do as far as recreation? Or what motivates you? What are you trying to do next? What are your goals? And then you'll find some common ground in one of those things, and then it'll branch off and it'll become something genuine.
I think that's huge. And being genuine on social media, sometimes it's a learned process. It's not something that you've got to be able to kind of break through the noise in order to make a genuine connection with somebody. So if you're willing to ask them a question about their family, or maybe where they're from, or their occupation, their recreation, what motivates them, you're a lot more likely to get a meaningful response back from them.
Yep, 100% on that.
And I think that just goes back into kind of what we talked about in the beginning of putting yourself out there, being willing to connect with people in all different ways, whatever ways those are, whatever things you're interested in, however you're spending the time in your day. Look for ways to connect with people across all platforms and across all those different interests.
Yep. Big thing for me, just to get a small example, is like recently went vegan, and I'm able to talk with a lot of people about nutrition and their diet and the lifestyle and sustainability, coming back to yesterday.
Right.
So it's very easy to spark conversation once you think about it and open your mind to just having a conversation with someone.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, you put yourself out there, and other people are maybe willing to put themselves out there, and then you can start to form some genuine connections. I think that's pretty much about all we've got for today. Get out there, get on social media. You can't be too active. That's an impossibility. So post as much as you possibly want about you, about your family, about your rec, about your business. But then also start to make some genuine connections with people as well, and start to think about the ways you can do that.
Yep, got it. All right. Thank you guys. Colby West, Bobby West, West Bros Experience. Let's get it.
See you next time.